The 64-year-old Najib was thrashed at the polls by a coalition of parties led by nonagenarian ex-Main Secretary Mahathir Mohamad, who led the nation for 22 years. Mahathir retired in 2003 but came out of resignation to problem Najib in the poll. The destruction is a degrading drop of elegance for Najib, the heir of one of Malaysia's largest visible policy families, and his coalition side, Barisan Nasional, that had led the nation with its autonomy 61 years back. In 220 of the 222 seats in the nation's parliament taken into account too, Mahathir's coalition had formally won 121 seats, quite to shape a easy most and get monitoring of the building. Barisan Nasional, in difference, just had 79 seats, a far cry of the 133 it won in the 2013 poll. The bloodbath did not end down there. Najib as well saw several members of his office, ministers and vice ministers, conquered at the polls, and smashed out of 9 of the battles for monitoring of 12 country legislatures disputed in the poll. Onto a declaration by the nation's poll committee, above 76% of the 14.3 millionth acceptable voters in the nation rotated out to throw their ballots, that outdoor at 8:01 m. regional period and went on before 5 p.m. The strike was reduced rather than the 85% the nation saw in 2013. Time the destruction certainly magical the end of Najib's policy career. For Mahathir, it represents the peak of a amazing back to force, a 10 years and a half following resignation. Wonderful win. Mahathir's win is all the more than wonderful examining he is 92 year ancient, and was fight the really side he led for above too many decades. Bridget Welch, a John Cabot College specialist on Malaysia policy, told Barisan Nasional could include won the elections had it not been for Najib. Najib is a obligation. His egotism price them the elections, she told, of a Barisan Nasional campaigning how displayed Najib and his poll promises as a centerpiece. Welch added Najib's de-election campaigning never very took away. He utilized race policy and cash, love he did in 2013, but it did not include the identical thrust. There was a Malaysia tsunami through races, generations and backdrop. James Chaw, the CEO at the Asia Institution in the College of Tasmania, told Najib had eventually run out of engineering and told Mahathir had stretched off a master stroke in snatching the village voice off of Najib. He compared the campaigning speeches taking into account by the two men on Tuesday overnight, several hours upvote began. Najib was yet game the bribe play, you offer me yours voice, I offer you the or how. Mahathir, on the some brush, came through as a government official and appealed to Malaysian virtue, he told. Jaw named out two things how helping rotate the title versus Najib, a top elector strike and the swinging in village supporting. Though if the village voters didn't know 1MDB, they understood how several ape industry was event. And so the Najib mark became toxicity, he told. A controversial poll day controversies. Voting day came in its own stake of controversies. Voters in several areas were rotated off by poll officials for tiring pants and somersault flops, in spite a declaration of the election committee's president the day up how down there wouldn't be a gown coding for voters. Voice accounting by officials went on in the night, in definitive results yet anticipated. Najib and Main Secretary-elect Mahathir are anticipated to address the nationality previous Thursday. And for the otherwise of the nation, the side has already started. May 10th and May 11th include already been proclaimed social holidays in festivity of one of the largest wonderful moments in Malaysia's contemporary story.